Hello everybody, it's SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you a Starcraft 2. I know I was casting a little bit of Starbow there for a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're back to some SC2 HOTS up against BlacKK and Strelok. TvZ, it's a little bit of a longer game, so we're going to speed it up a little bit here. Have myself a little bit of Okanagan Harvest Pear Cider. I'm not usually a big cider fan, but this is pretty tasty, I must say. Yes. Then may have to go get myself a little bit more here in just a bit. It's a longer replay, so I'm speeding it up. Sue me. This map, for some reason, has created some longer games. The macro really pushes people away from each other, which is probably part of that reason. But the games are always entertaining, so I'm excited to see what kind of stuff comes out of these players. It looks as though the Zerg player is comfortable to just go for an expansion. Does go for a scout for any type of proxy things. Terran player. It's nice to be a Terran player against a Zerg where you don't generally worry as much about proxy things. You just have to make sure you wall off and a 6 pool won't generally put you back too far. Walks right into the base. It is a Reaper. That's the funny thing about this matchup is you can generally be confident enough that it's not going to be Marines. So yeah, Reaper is coming across the map. He's actually just leaving it there. It's hilarious. Maybe he has it timed out well enough how long it takes to get across. We'll see the command center timing and the Reaper timing. And then after that he actually sees the add-on, which is really cool. So he will know that there's only going to be one Reaper popping out here. Pool's finished. Queen's down. 2 lings. He's not going to make more than that. Maybe in a moment. We'll see. Yeah, there's the 4 lings. As I say, 4 is generally standard. Up comes the Reaper. We'll see if he managed to get any damage in. Wow, he runs right past the drone. Does want to scout to see if there is any gas, obviously. Queen's about halfway towards popping. Do a little bit of a dance here, the song and dance of the Reaper. Reaper did what it really needed to, which was scout. Wanted to be able to see if that gas was happening. So we'll probably be seeing speed. Yep, there it goes. Keeps one person on gas. That just kind of slowly moves you towards lair at some point. Queens are done. Command center not far away. Oop. Looks like he managed to... No, he didn't get a kill. Queen is out now. There's a little bit more room for the Reaper to jump up. But with these Overlords in good position, should be fine. The Overlord will actually get out of there. What did he spot before he left? Wow, he's even got another Overlord over there. This is really strange by BlacKK. I've not seen people be this bold. He sees the starport. Terran player doesn't know that Overlord's over there. Maybe BlacKK doesn't realize, but that's really kind of funny. At least to me, I think it's hilarious. Speed's on the way. More drones. Reaper is just making sure that the third base doesn't happen without his knowledge. We're going to see the wall off at the front over here. I have a feeling it's going to kind of be a no-touch kind of game for a while. Reapers kind of delay things a bit. Speed's about to finish up. We do see some Hellions, and we see the Banshee with Cloak. Starting to see a lot more Banshee with Cloak action. I mean, I guess it's not something too crazy and new. Whoops, I guess that wasn't on purpose. Kind of funny. The Banshee play, I've seen it used so successfully against Zerg recently. Get out a couple of ones with a bit of Cloak, and you force the Spore Crawlers, but if you just hit the right time, because there's no lair even started yet for the Zerg player, if you hit it at the right times, you can pull the Queens out of position, and 2 Banshees just cut through Queens so fast. And obviously they'll one-shot drones. So we'll see how well BlacKK can deal with that. Roach Warren is on the way. Maybe we'll see a Roach Hydra kind of mix. It's kind of surprising. He didn't scout if it was going to be Mech out of Strelok. I'm pretty sure Strelok, from what I've seen, does enjoy his Mech play. But I'm also somebody that does enjoy a good scout before just committing to any type of specific tech. Particularly as a Zerg player, you're generally either trying to force your opponent into something specific with pressure, or... There's a Banshee. 2 kills. 3 kills. He's got a lot of damage on that Banshee. Cloak's not quite finished yet. He did manage to get himself 4 kills before that was done. It's okay to let the Queen take a few shots here, but he just wants to make sure he doesn't really... Oh, he might lose it as well, actually. Good commitment there out of Strelok. Might actually be able to focus down the baneling nest. There is no lair still that I'm aware of. No, the lair hasn't even started. Big pile of roaches just popped out. But with having the Banshees on the map, the roaches could get pretty beaten up. It looks like it was originally intended to be a kind of a baneling and roach bust. We do see the mech is happening, so perhaps Black did a little bit of research before his game. Roach is taking a little bit of abuse here. He is committing pretty heavy here. We see the Zerglings, the banelings are morphing. The Terran player is going to know this. He's going to bunker up. There's only 2 bunkers here, though. This managed to cancel. There's 3 Banshees out here. This is rough. We'll see how many of these actually make it to the wall. I don't know. Whoa, explosions in your face. Killed 9 workers with just that 1 bust. Not a lot of workers down here at the natural. The banelings are all getting clumped up on the roaches, though. Roaches are really beaten up right now. More speedlings are running across the map. Roaches are really kind of just running into each other right now. And 4 Banshees just cleaning up everything here. I'm surprised if he goes in with these Zerglings. I don't know what he's going to hope to accomplish. He might just go for a bit of a surprise, wait for the Banshees to move out. So many Banshees, layers on the way, more Spore Crawlers, more Queens. Because he didn't win with that push, he's in a bit of a desperation mode right now. 4 Banshees is pretty difficult. That is not an easy thing to go up against. Oh wow. He just lost all of his Zerglings there, essentially, to a Widow Mine. Widow Mines. Where do those Banshees go? There they are. Might even be able to just get a full kill on this base if he wants to take on the Spore Crawler, and that wouldn't surprise me if he does. Raven starting up now. Yo, bad micro. Oh, nice focus fire. He did pick down the weakened Banshee there. Losing 2 of those Banshees for 1 Queen wasn't worth it in my mind. Might try to hit this. Oh, he gets the creep tumor. Don't lose the Queen. We'll just barely keep it alive. There's even a fair bit of damage on these Banshees. So a little bit of missed micro by Strelok there ends up costing him. But now there are Spore Crawlers set up well. The Mech is pretty delayed. You need that really good economy to play good Mech. Does have another command center started. If we look at the actual unit count, Zerg player is just finally getting a big lead after a big swell of drones there. But the Terran player is not as far behind as I thought he'd be after that big baneling bust. Managed to get himself back into it pretty good. Double Evo chambers going down now. Moving that creep along. That's why it's nice to keep those Banshees at the front, just to be able to control that creep. I do like moving the Widow Mines out on the map. They give you great vision, great scouting. And also make sure that, well, other than that, they make sure they usually kill their weight before they go down. Even if they do get scouted, they'll generally kill something. That's the problem. I used to do this as well. You got to be very careful. If you're going to try to Widow Mine and block a base, you have to put it where the hatch is going to go down, or you have to put it significantly far enough along the path. Otherwise, exactly this happens. The Widow Mine does not hit, and it just disappears into nothing. The 1 Viking out's kind of nice. Does take out that Overseer. Black is fairly supply blocked. There are the mutas on the way. Mutas can be pretty good against Mech. But with Strelok's experience playing his Mech, I'm sure he's not going to get totally blindsided. He's already got 2 Thors out and a 3rd on the way. Plus 1 is happening right now. Slightly ahead of the 1-1 of his opponent. He's going to go for this gold with a orbital. Some roaches down here did clean up the Widow Mine. This Widow Mine is still in position. This guy has not been cleaned up yet. The Zerg player doesn't know about it, but the Terran does know about that base. These Banshees could probably go down there and cancel it out. Did he get speed for his Overseers? No. If you are going to go mutas, particularly against people that are going to have Widow Mines, it's really nice to be able to get out the Overlord speed so your Overseers can follow around your mutas and get in a bunch of damage. This hatch is almost for sure going to go down. The Overseer is here. Well, now here come the mutas. If he's paying attention. There he goes. I was supposed to say if he's paying attention. He's picking off the roaches. What are the mutas doing? Am I missing something? Unless he just wants to, like, hide the mutas. It's the only thing I can think, is he's trying to hide them to do as much damage as possible. Actually, that's pretty good damage there. Maybe he was right to make that call. Thors, wreck face. So if you want your face wrecked, go take on the Thors. Nice pullback on the one weakened muta there. I thought that was really slick. Tried to hit him with a SeKo missile. Pretty good damage happening. Another SeKo missile does go down. Sometimes it's nice to be able to pull out that once, you know, muta and just fly it into the enemy units. This is a lot more damage than I expected to have happen against Strelok here. Let's look at the total workers killed. 49. He is down to 47. Wow, he's actually... I thought he'd be down to like no workers at this point. This base, getting a little run by on it. This one is finished up. There's no spore crawler here. No more banshees have been made at this point. He's actually going to lose this command center. This is why Mech... You've got to be very patient with Mech. You've got to wait for your big army. You've got to get down those missile turrets. People laugh at me because I get down so many missile turrets. Whoa! And that's how you lose all of your god... part of my mouth. Mutas. Holy crap. Units killed. Yes. I want to see the specific units killed. What was the one for that? Upgrades, active, structures lost. What are the units lost? Ah. Oh well. Can't figure it out. Can't figure it out. A couple of blue flames just did a little run by. Did they get... It looks like they didn't get much for worker kills if they did. He's not making any more mutas right now. He's actually getting out a bunch of banelings at home. The Terran player, I'd actually be kind of surprised if he pushes out now. This is... It'd be kind of all-in-ish if he does. I would just expect him to kind of just take a better position. What I would have liked to have seen by this point is perhaps swarm hosts. This push could be pretty menacing. Swarm hosts just kind of buy you time. There's not a lot of tanks in this. And this army, unless he hits some really, really sick baneling hits, he's not going to get in the damage he really wants. He is pushing in before the tank siege. Lots of banelings getting choked up here. Is he gonna do it? It looks like he's gonna get close. He's actually gonna sit here and camp for... Nope, maybe not. So we got a big pile of more roaches coming out here now. It did a lot of damage. I don't know if he's gonna be wanting to break this. There's only 4 tanks sieged up here though. These Thors do have to walk out. They do not want to get ahead of themselves. Strelok still doesn't have another... Does he have a command center? Yeah, it's in production. There we go. He is going to push for it here. This is a little surprising. He's a little clumped up. He wanted to hit this before the big amount of units could be made. Does get one of the Thors, one of the tanks. Still 5 tanks left. A Thor. The Banshee. And there's a few more here. So he might just try to push around. The roaches are good. People say the roach is the counter to Mech. It's only really the counter to Mech if you catch the Mech off guard. Roach doesn't generally beat me, I guess, when I'm playing it. Just, I don't think it's fast enough. And I think the damage that comes out of this splash units here is just too good. We'll evacuate this base. I think that's smart. He's going to go for a mega flank mega. Or he's just going to go for a counter. We'll see. Lots of tanks in position. So this might just kind of neutralize this moment here. Roaches and Hydras. Pay attention to your units. Actually lost a good chunk of stuff there. He won't end up pushing in. He did want to check to make sure there wasn't another base already mining. Terran is going to move back over to that gold. Is there anything? It would be nice to at least have a burrowed Zergling or something here just to make sure. This army I don't expect is going to move for a while. The thing is he doesn't have high ground vision at the moment. Banshee's slightly out of position. It's nice to have the workers with you there. All those units are back up to full health. Now we're finally getting those swarm hosts out. And I'm going to speed it up slightly here, because now I think what we're going to get is kind of that slow, late game, a whole bunch of swarm host locusts running into a whole bunch of tanks. Tanks do want to try to get out of here. Now there's a bit of a trap being set. If he takes the low ground, we'll see if this can kill him or not. It's a pretty good engagement for the Zerg player here. Terran Mech though. Terran Mech and just what it does to people. Makes people hate themselves. That took out a lot of Zerg units to try to get this down. There's no vision with this army right now. Would like to grab that Thor. And then not lose everything to that Banshee. This base is now down and fully mining. Missing one person in his gases though. It's a bit of a problem for him. His gas is very, very critical. He's floating down one of his other bases. I think that was his main. Yeah. Can't really afford to keep moving on his upgrades though. Does need to get units out. Swarmos actually attacking stuff on the low ground. It's a great thing about having the vision here. This is where you need that creep spread. Finally starting to move that creep along. You need the spore crawlers, the spine crawlers. Just stuff to be able to push back the air. Strelok does need to transition into air. He's getting the Vikings along the way. Because at some point you need to be able to control the space. Does have a couple of these Vipers out here. Once again, why you need the Vikings to control the air. Base is now mining down here. As a Zerg player, that's kind of why you like to have that burrow tech, just to be able to see. This base is completely open. Even just a handful of Zerglings might be able to get in there and do some damage. Good blinding clouds happening here. Lost a handful of his roaches and hydras to do that. Does have some hydras in play here to try and snipe down Vikings. It's a nice little thing to have as part of your composition. Just watching a really killer game with Stefano today where he did just that. Terran is pushing out here slowly and getting in better position. It's not enough swarm hosts right now. He does have his +3 attack on the way. That's going to help out a lot if these units can get into range. Actually, we'll get some shots off just slightly. Whatever damage you can get. These roach are actually going to go for a run by. I think this is very smart. Very undefended back on this side. Does not have enough swarm hosts out here, I think, to really press the advantage. But he is slightly supply blocked, because he's not at supply max. Creep is moving along. This base is going to be mined out actually really fast. Roaches are kind of moving as a long Congo line, and that's going to tip off the Terran player a little bit quick. See if he's paying attention, you'd actually be able to get a lot of these workers. Strelok is splitting up here. He's going to try to run up. He could get on top of this tank. He's got a move command on his roaches here, and they're actually going to get all stupidly run into each other. Good positioning here for the Terran player to be able to control this space. He's going to try to get some blinding clouds down now, I would think. No, he's actually going to pull a few units out. Grabs a Thor, grabs a tank. One spore crawler on the high ground. It's kind of nifty. This base did get shut down. That's really important as this base is mining out here very soon. Zerg has retaken this base, but has not really saturated it. Which is surprising. Where's all of his workers? Only 57 workers, but there's only 31 for the Terran, so it's kind of low econ right now. This base is essentially forfeit. There's a Widow Mine down here. It's got 12 kills? Oh man. Trying to get some spore crawlers down here. Spore crawlers are almost more important than the spine crawlers. I think they are more important than the spine crawlers. She grabs a whole pile of Vikings with that. Terran player's kind of starving right now. Zerg player's got a bit of a bank, which he needs to spend. 13 more workers on the way. This base, once again, he keeps trying to make hatcheries down here. He keeps running in drones to their death. He's going to run these roaches back around again. Maybe he's just not figuring it out that that's the case. It's kind of funny, though. Some static defenses. You need to do that. Actually picking off a few free things here and there. I think it's actually really smart. He might get the units. He's not going to kill it in time. It's unfortunate to lose all those roaches. Probably would do more damage at less cost with some Zerglings, though, coming in here and doing a little bit more damage with that. These Hydras got to not get too far ahead of themselves. Locusts do end up just pushing you into stuff. There's no creep here yet. I'm actually kind of surprised he's pushing this far forward. He still hasn't taken this base, up to 14 kills with that. What are these guys doing? Black is not that far ahead that he could risk getting anything lost here. The Hydras just get smoked. Big blinding clouds going down right now. There's no detection as part of this army. He didn't actually, yeah, you gotta launch. It's very important if you want to micro these, you have to try to launch all of your locusts and then move. You see he screwed up his rally points on there, so he's not getting out a full volley. This is a really tough thing to do. I'm not going to discount Black at all. This is a really difficult thing to try to micro and hold off. But he does need to reposition. There's too many tanks. And I don't think he's going to be able to bust through this. The tank leapfrogging is going to be too good. He only still has +2 on these things as well, which is kind of surprising to me. This base still not taken. That one Widow Mine's been a hero for the Terran player this game. This is a nice leapfrog by the Terran. There's nothing that really is happening right now to deal with this. He's not been able to get enough of economy up because of this base. And we actually see Strelok into a pretty good position here. His supply's low, but his army comp is good for what the Zerg player has. What you'd ideally want in this position as a Terran is Ravens to be able to support this mix. There's still no detection in here. He's leaving himself completely open down the middle. And this is why it's hard to afford it, but if you can, to get some Zerglings just to pressure your opponent. This is such an interesting move by Strelok. He's still super far behind in supply, but what he can do damage-wise is just so effective, and he's cutting off these bases here in a moment. He's killing off the important Hydras that the Zerg player really can't replace. Terran player also can't afford to replace much at this moment either, though. Great high ground position. Still can see all this stuff because of the one creep tumor he's got in position there. Alright. Now what do you do as the Zerg player in this spot? Spine Crawler, I believe, beats tank. Just barely. This is when you'd kind of want to maybe reposition your swarm hosts to block the advancement. Right now there's nothing blocking the tanks from just continuing to leapfrog. This base is cut off from really providing any advantage right now. It's way oversaturated as well. These locusts are just never going to be able to penetrate this many tanks. Vikings controlling the air super well. Lots of Vipers out now. Trying to rebuild that Hydra count. Its base is pretty much mined out anyways. It's not as important. He does get this base down finally. It's kind of important here. Hydra's behind the locusts. Wow, great blinding clouds here. He's actually going to get a lot of tanks. Start shooting at stuff. This was such a great push from Black. Oh man, that was tight. Is he going to be able to bust this stuff though? At least kill the tanks off. These Thors. He's actually getting trapped behind here by these locusts. He will be able to clean up some of these. But unfortunately, the locust run past here is just going to be too effective. That was really clutch out of Black there. That's not what I was thinking you would need to do. Great blinding clouds. All those tanks were very clumped up. This is the only thing really mining. This base is toast. Surprised he hasn't... There he goes. I'm surprised he hasn't moved that earlier. Zerg player has to kind of regroup here. Regroup. Terran player I thought might be trying to push south. Maybe if he can probably pressure this base. Now that this is done, let's look at the units. 52 workers to 31. This base is a little oversaturated. He could probably pull a few away. Very good map sense here by Black, understanding likely where the Terran player is going to be attacking here. Almost going to trap this Terran player. He's got to be careful. Hydras might be able to pick this off because of this positioning here. They have +3/3. There's actually a hatch going down here. That's kind of sneaky. See if he sieges up on the low ground here. His units are a little bit caught off guard. Good little tank shots. Doesn't quite get the command center burning. Locust chasing all the way around that one side. Pretty good position for the swarm hosts. You generally want them to try to be more in the open so they don't clump into each other as much. Really great locust shots there. Took out a lot of the meat shield. Doesn't grab all of the locusts on that one movement. Looks like he wants to maybe reposition his locusts here. There we go. Sorry, swarm hosts. Army's starting to get rebuilt here from Black. Strelok's trying to make it happen, but now he's got to be super defensive. When he was across the map, I actually really liked his position. Thought he was going to be able to do really, really well. He's going to try to do a run by into the base, get the production facilities. And if he can, it's essentially going to be GG. He's not attacking the tank. I was going to say, am I missing something here? Now he's on the production facilities. I think this is GG. Strelok's not going to be able to remake any army. He's trapped with these locusts here. And the Zerg player is already mining and doing well again and ready to just kind of remake himself in this game. Strelok is going to try to move home. Swarmos have backed off quite a bit. Well, he might be able to clean up this army a bit here. Losing very, very precious tanks. And there's the GG. Any damage that the Zerg player did was more than the Terran could withstand. Funky game. I usually actually see a lot of Terrans win some late games on this map, but this one I thought was very impressive by Black. Super clutch with all of the blinding clouds to take out all those tanks there. SeKo Starcraft, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.